how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Behind the Sketch. Why did I say it like that? I don't know why I said it like that. It's BTS, not the Korean pop band, but this is my own BTS. No, we don't sing here. Winsor and Newton, the Winsor and Newton, they contacted me and they were like, man, we really okay, let me do that again. Winsor and Newton contacted me and they were like, dude, we really like your art. Why don't you try out some of our new markers? And I was like, cool, I'll do that. Like, I like markers. And they sent me this thing. They sent me this markers. Okay, this is the marker set. So this comes in a leather case. Okay, it's not a leather case. What am I saying? This comes in a cool case. I can just tell you that. So, oh yeah, okay. By the way, I've opened this already. I went through this whole thing. So you're pretty much seeing a recreation of what I went through yesterday. So yeah, so they sent me this 24 set markers, and along with these 6 other colors, which I told them to randomly pick out for me because yeah, I'm too lazy with picking colors. So they sent me this thing, and initial impressions of me using this thing, booyah, it's amazing. Well, let me show you something. Okay, I went ahead and drew this thing last night. Look at this thing. Whoa. One, I've never achieved this kind of quality of colors with my traditional works because I usually use color pencils or watercolors to do my thingy, and this right here is on a whole new level. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make a even better piece and see how these markers, these cool markers, goes. So yeah, let's get to that, shall we? Transition. Done with inking. Now I'm going to go ahead and color this thing with PROMARKERS. Oh boy, I'm excited for this thing. I'm excited. Let's do this. So I started out by picking the colors that I want to use in the illustration piece, and if you know me, you would probably know my color selection, which would be very muted, a bit desaturated, and a bit on the lighter end of the color spectrum, and those are the colors that I usually use. But you know, apparently these markers are really nice. They have great pigment quality in them. I don't know, is that the word that you use, pigment quality? I just want, okay, the thing is, the colors are really bright, nice, and well dispersed. That's all I wanted to say about this markers. And you know, some of the colors that I actually really liked from this set was this carmine. That's R115. Okay, that's the code number or something. So the carmine color, I really like that. I like the sunflower, tornasol. Okay, it's some sort of a yellowish color. I really freaking love that thing. And I like the cocktail pink. It's also called the rose cocktail, so I like that. And lime green. So yeah, these are the 4 colors which I really liked from this set of 24 colors. So I got this 24 color set from Winsor & Newton, and they gave me 6 more colors which I didn't use for this illustration piece, and I just used the colors that was in the 24 set. And I wanted to see like what kind of an illustration piece can I make with this limited palette, and I thought it was a limited palette, and apparently it wasn't. It really works well for me. So I really like my choices, you know, I really like having many choices in terms of colors, and that's what I'm used to because I'm used to coloring my illustration pieces in Adobe Photoshop. And I thought this thing is gonna not work for me in the beginning, but you know, it worked really well for me. Of course, I would prefer, you know, certain colors like beige, which I really like. You know, I would have used that for the teeth instead of the color that I'm gonna be using right now. But you know, I really like this set, man. This set works really well for me. Again, you need to choose the one that works for you. I'm not sure, what works for you, what kind of colors work for you. One thing may not work for one artist and one thing may work for another artist. So this is how it works. Like all these art materials and supplies, you need to test them, you need to find the one that works for you. And that's how these things work. These markers are basically alcohol-based markers. By the way, this is one of the very first time I'm used to coloring my entire drawings using markers only, because like I'm not used to using those things, because I was a digital guy. Like Winsor & Newton saw my stuff and they were like, dude, you need to do some traditional stuff. Here are some markers. There you go. Draw with them. Okay, again, the conversation did not go like that, but yeah, it was something similar. Okay, yeah, I'm much more of a digital artist in terms of coloring. I'm a very traditional oriented artist because I love drawing the traditional way, the feel of the pencil on the paper, the ink on the paper. I just love the whole process of doing it traditionally. I also love the process of coloring digitally. But I wanted to find a medium that is, traditional, that works well with colors, that is really bright, it is good, it is bright, it is good. What am I saying at this point? I wanted something really bright and nice that is traditional. I've tried out color pencils in the past before. I've tried out watercolors. I've tried out acrylic paint, which is a big ball of mess. I mean, man, if you want to do something quick, acrylic is not the one, at least for me. I'm not sure about you. Again, yeah, it didn't work for me. I tried out Copics. Those things were, it was really hard for me to get into Copics because, I liked my digital coloring way more than the Copics, which was weird. And on the other hand, when I was trying out this Winsor & Newton markers, last night, I was just gushing over the whole thing, man. Like, I'll be honest with you, Winsor & Newton sponsoring this video for me to make this video, but they're not paying me to say the things that I'm saying right now. Thing is, I freaking love the markers. I was in love last night when I was trying out this markers. I was trying out these colors on my papers. I wanted to see how those things look like in real life. And weirdly, one of the things that I've noticed is that this marker has a very good even spread, if you get what I mean. Meaning, it doesn't have these patches of colors, or one of the things I noticed with Copics. Again, Copics, if it works for you, good for you. I'm not bashing on Copics, but apparently this one works better for me at least. And there are no patches. It's very even, it's very smooth, and weirdly, let me tell you, I really like the sound it makes when I'm like coloring with it on the paper. This has got this. I like that. I don't know why. This is weird. I'm a weird artist, alright? So deal with it. So the markers are again alcohol based, and I have two tips. One is some sort of a round tip that comes on one side, and another is this flat tip, which I used to use a lot in my previous illustrations when I had other markers. But the thing was, I'm not a big fan of flat tips these days, and I freaking love this round tip on this marker. It was like a brush pen. It was a bit fluid, it was bendy, it was nice. Again, it wasn't too rigid, and at the same time it wasn't as soft as a brush, and I'm a big brush pen guy. I always use my brush pens to ink my drawings and stuff, and I really like this thin round tip on the main side of this marker. Also, the paper I used for this illustration was this Bristol board, so this is technically a Bristol paper. I don't know the technical details of those things. I think it's 180 GSM or 220 GSM, I don't know which. Yeah, some sort of a GSM thingy, I don't know. So yeah, I used that thing for this illustration piece because I'm really comfortable using that paper. It's a known territory. I'm already venturing out into new unknown territory with these markers, and I don't want to test myself too much in one day by trying out completely new different papers. So I just went with the ones that really worked for me, because I wanted to end up making a really good illustration piece that I was satisfied with, which I accomplished. Let me tell you, I'm so satisfied with the piece that I made for this video, and I freaking fell in love with these markers. I'm gonna buy more of these things, or Winsor & Newton can send me the whole thing. I don't mind. Hey, I don't mind. When it comes to coloring, I'm so used to coloring digitally, and I wanted to replicate the same effect that I get on Adobe Photoshop with these markers. And my style of coloring is very simple. It's very flat, it's very even. I don't do rendering, I don't do shading, and if I do shading, it's gonna be like thick cell shading type thingy. So that means it's going to be very segregated. All the shadows are going to be segregated. All the midtones are going to be segregated. All the, what do you say, white tones? No, the highlights are going to be segregated. So yeah, and I wanted to replicate that effect with the markers, and boy did I succeed that with this marker, man. Like yeah, I'm fanboying over these markers, to be honest, at this point, because I freaking love them. I freaking love them. I really like how you hold this thing. It's really thick enough, not too thin enough. Good design, good design. So I wanted to base my illustration off of this idea of Drishti Bommai, which means there's something called Drishti Bommai here in my state, Tamil Nadu, which is in India, and it's this very odd looking, very colorful looking, not demon, but some sort of a creature that sticks out its tongue. So I wanted to base my design off of those things, and I wanted to create this some sort of a face with, you know, this creature that looks colorful and very flamboyant, because I wanted to use all the colors up in the set. I didn't end up using all the colors up in the set, and I did take out some of my preferred colors and I used them first, and I tried to use the other colors. I should have actually, you know, went ahead and tested all 24 of the colors. I just tested a few last night. I didn't end up testing the whole thing, but apparently there were some surprising colors that I did not know existed in the set, and I wanted to make this colorful illustration piece, and it came out well. It came out well. Not just well, it came out really well. I don't have much things to say about this marker other than the fact that, one, I really like these things, and I really want to use them in my daily sketching process. Oh my god, this is going to make my daily sketching process so easy, because every single time I make a daily sketch, I want to color those things. And if I want to color those things, I need to fake a photograph of this thing, import it into Photoshop, edit away all the background, clean up the drawing, then color it. Then takes so much time. From now it's going to be so damn easy. I just need like whip out these markers, color them, and I'll be done. So yeah, this is going to make my daily sketching very easy. And yeah, so one, these markers are really good. I'm probably going to be using them a lot. Not probably, why did I say probably? I'm going to be using them a lot in the coming future, because I don't have that many good marker alternatives, because, you know, I've tried out other markers and it didn't sit well with me, again, like I told you before. And three, thank you Winsor & Newton for sending me these markers, and really appreciate that, you know, like, hey, if you like this video on drawing, I don't mind you sending me more markers in the future. Wink wink. I'm really happy with this illustration piece that I made, and hope you are too. I don't know, it's up to you to decide your own choice. So yeah, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Bye bye.